Hello everybody, my name is Dr. Stephen Coutts and I am the Programme Director of the BCL Pathways Programme at the School of Law in UCC. In this short video I want to do three things. Firstly, I want to talk briefly about what the law is and what it means to study the law. Secondly, I want to give you some information about the structure of the BCL Pathways Programme and the different options available to you if you pursue this particular degree. And then thirdly, I just want to give you some contact details for people that can answer any further questions that you might have. And we're always happy to get inquiries from prospective applicants to the programme. So firstly, what is the law and what does it mean to study the law? Now this might be it seemed like an obvious question to you because of course the law is all around us, but just to break it down into something a little bit more concrete, the law is simply an authoritative and binding system of rules for regulating society. We live together in a society and we need a set of rules in order to allow us to get on together, to allow us to engage in activities together. And virtually all human societies have historically developed some system of rules and some mechanism of enforcing those rules in order for that society to exist in a peaceful way. And as societies and economies develop, the law and the legal system, this system of rules, becomes ever more complex and ever more and grows at an increasing rate. So what we have today is we have a legal system which has a number of characteristics. As I said, it is fundamentally, basically, a system of rules for regulating our society and our human interactions within society. Today also our legal system is institutionalized. What we mean by that is that there are a set of institutions which develop the law, which adopt the law, these rules, and which interpret and enforce the law. So in particular our parliament, our court system, etc. The last feature of the law in modern societies is that it is binding and it is coercive. So what I mean by that is that it's not optional, you are obliged to follow the law, and ultimately, if you do not follow the law, society at large, and in particular the state, will enforce that law through the strong arm of the state, namely the police force. So what this means is that law is essentially all-encompassing. All aspects of human society are touched by the law, are shaped by the law, are determined by the law. That goes for social relations, it goes for politics, it goes for economic relations, it goes for business as well. And so this also means, and this is something I'll touch on in the next slide, the law, as I said, touches a whole range of different activities, different areas of society and the economy, and it offers a huge, and if you're interested in any of these topics or how we regulate human behaviour in any of these particular areas, then the law could be something that would interest you. So what does it mean to study the law? What do we do when we study law at university? We first of all determine what the rules are. You learn what the different rules are in all these different areas of human life, in family law, in company law, in criminal law, constitutional law. So that's the first thing we do. We learn what are these rules, but also we go beyond that. We ask, how are these rules made? Who is involved in the making of these rules? Is it legitimate that these rules are made? We ask, what are these rules designed to achieve? Are they designed to achieve the better functioning of the economy? Are they designed to achieve the better functioning of the business world? Are they designed to achieve security in the case of criminal law? And if this is what they are designed to achieve, do they achieve these particular goals, or could it be reformed in such a way as to better achieve those goals? A large part of the study of law is also about how the law and how the different rules are interpreted and enforced, particularly interpreted. We spend a lot of our time looking at court judgments. We have what we call a common law system where court judgments are very, very important in the development of the law over time as these rules get developed. So the interpretation of these rules is also very important. And it's an important skill, incidentally, for any future practicing lawyers, so that if you wish to go on to practice law, then the interpretation is very important as well. And in addition to that, and finally, we also ask, how do these different rules interact with society, with the economy, with politics? How do social issues and political issues influence the design of the law? How does the law, in turn, shape these social and political and perhaps economic issues as well? So it's studying the law, the rules themselves, it's studying how they're interpreted, how they're developed, And then we go beyond that and we place law within the broader context and ask, how does law fit within society? How does it influence society? How does society influence the law? So that is the law in a nutshell, and that is what it means to study the law. Why might you want to study the law? How do you know that legal studies at a university level could be something that would be interesting for you, that you would be good at, and that you might choose for your university degree? So as I said, and I touched on at the end of the last slide, law is all-encompassing. It's not just criminal law, it also extends to international relations, the law of international organisations such as the European Union, politics, profoundly influenced by the Constitution, and a lot of political change is achieved through the Constitution. So if any of these topics interest you, then the law could be something that might interest you. And more generally, if you are interested in topics or subjects like history, like current affairs, like international relations, that typically is an indication that the law might be something interesting for you, because as I said, all of those things are very much influenced by the law, and the law is at the heart of all of these things. But in addition to that, if you are interested in logical argumentation, in structured argument, in interpretation, in debating, for example, then that means that the law could also be of interest to you. The law is also a system of thinking, a way of thinking. It's very logical, it's very structured, it's very dispassionate. And so if that type of thinking, if that type of activity appeals to you, as I said, the idea of a structured argument, then the law could also be something that would be interesting for you. If you're interested in debating ideas and concepts, then the law could be of interest to you. Of course, finally, the law might be of interest to you because it does offer a wide range of professional opportunities. There is, of course, the legal professions, that is to become a barrister or a solicitor. The law degree does not qualify you to become a barrister or a solicitor. If you go onto UCC's website, you can have a page there in terms of how to qualify as a legal professional. But it is a very important first step, and it makes entry into those professions perhaps a little bit easier. They are, of course, very, very interesting careers. There's a wide range of different areas of legal practice. So again, even within those careers, there is a lot of variety involved. But a law degree goes much, or in terms of professional qualification, goes beyond simply qualifying to be a lawyer. Many of our graduates go on to other activities and work in other sectors where knowledge of the law and the skills that you develop within a law degree can also be very, very important. So in international organisations, in NGOs, in civil society, in the civil service, all of these, and of course in companies and in the business world as well, all of these sectors, all of these areas employ law graduates. And as I said, a law degree gives you both the knowledge and also the skills which make you an attractive candidate for any of these jobs. So that's why you might want to study the law out of personal interest, out of a type of activity which appeals to you. Obviously, professional interests as well might be relevant for your choice. So the next thing I want to talk about is the BCL Pathways degree itself and the structure of it. So the first question you might ask is, well, why is it called BCL Pathways? What's the Pathways all about? The reason why it's called Pathways is because when you enter into first year, it's essentially a gateway, and then you have to choose one of three options in subsequent years. So at the end of, so everybody enters into first year are in the same class, are in the same program. They're in BCL Pathways Year 1. At the end of first year, you will then be asked to fill out a form where you indicate your preference for which path you wish to follow for the rest of your degree. You can either opt for the ordinary BCL degree, you can opt secondly for the BCL International, or you can opt thirdly for the BCL Clinical. As I said, selection takes place at the end of first year. There are some requirements, threshold requirements in terms of grade and an interview in the case of the BCL International in order to enter into the BCL International or the BCL Clinical. If you fail to select any of the options, then the default will be a BCL Ordinary degree. So the BCL Ordinary degree is a 3-year degree. It offers a wide range of law modules, a lot of core modules, and then also a lot of optional or elective modules. So company law, legal theory, constitutional law, family law, all of these things are available to you. And it is a very well established and a very recognised degree across different sectors and amongst employers. And it's also I suppose beneficial, or why it might be attractive, is because of the length. It is a 3-year degree, which means that if you want to do further studies, so for example a master's, or if you wish to go on to qualify to become a legal practitioner, then the 3-year degree might be useful for you, because for example you could do a 3-year degree and a master's and have a master's then done in 4 years. So if you're interested in further study and are kind of anxious to pursue that, then a 3-year degree and the ordinary BCL degree might be of interest to you. The BCL International and the BCL Clinical degrees are both 4-year degrees. The second year of both the BCL International and the BCL Clinical are the same as the second year for the BCL Ordinary, with the exception of the skills modules. In the skills modules, they are tailored somewhat to the different needs of the different programs, so in particular the BCL International and the BCL Clinical. In the third year of the BCL International, you will go abroad and spend a year, or perhaps a semester, but normally a year, studying in a partner university in either the rest of Europe, but we also have partners in the US, in Canada, and in China. There's many reasons why you might want to do this. It has a lot of advantages. There are personal reasons. It can be an incredibly enriching personal experience. Academic reasons as well. You get to study another legal system and different subjects. And professional reasons. You pick up skills working in an international environment, which are typically valued by employers. The third year for the BCL Clinical is then spent on placement. So you are placed with a partner organisation, and we have a range of organisations you have to interview, but we have relationships with these organisations. There are, of course, law firms, but also to reflect the idea that the law degree is something that goes beyond legal practice in that narrow sense. We also place students in NGOs, in public administration, and in other organisations as well. The benefits of the BCL Clinical are that you get some hands-on experience, so you develop some professional skills. From an academic point of view, it's always interesting as well to see the law in action. We study the law in the books, of course, in university, but to get to see how it works in practice can always be beneficial and gives you this extra perspective. And then the fourth year, when people come back to UCC, either from being abroad or from being on placement, it is essentially the same as the third year of the BCL. So everybody's final year is more or less the same. So I hope that's clear. If you do have any further questions, please feel free to reach out to us. As I said, I am the director of the BCL degree itself. And there you have the contact details of the directors of the BCL Clinical and the BCL International degree. So Dorothy Appleby and Dr. Jonathan McCarthy. The final name there is Anne Wallace, who works with us for admissions and should be able to answer any general questions about UCC or the admissions process itself. Finally, if you want to further information, you can look at the website, and that's the link there to the BCL program itself. Also, feel free to browse the section of the website which deals with the law school, and you'll get a broader sense of who we are and what we do. So thank you for listening, and I look forward to seeing as many of you as possible. Thank you. Goodbye.